Another disappointing Champions League performance from us. I think we've had too many games in the Champions League where we're winning by several goals and we're playing well at the beginning and then we just lose our bottle and lose the game. I think this is the second game where Anana is at fault for that. He is at fault for all three goals, I'm pretty sure. Should have saved both free kicks. And the last goal, I don't know what his positioning is. As a goalkeeper, he has one of the worst positioning I've ever seen. Like comparing him to someone like De Gea, so positioning is a thing that we just take for granted. And people want to talk about these stats and these numbers, and they'll bring up these numbers and their little charts because they all think they're stupid nerds and they all think they're so smart and analytically, like who cares? Who cares about analysis and all this rubbish little numbers and everything? They don't mean anything. What means is what you do on the pitch. People made fun of De Gea for making mistakes last season. He made four mistakes. Onana had made three in one game today. Man United goalkeeper is a position that is like none other in the world. There is an incredible amount of pressure on you, unbelievable amount of pressure. I knew that replacing De Gea would have taken at least 3, 4, 5 years, which is why we should have started the goalkeeper searching process while we had De Gea still at the club. The way that Man United have treated letting go of De Gea and bringing in Onana was terrible, and it just shows that we are not a club based on footballing decisions. We're a club based on making media decisions. If the media wants a player out, they will be out. I guarantee you by the end of next summer, Casemiro won't be here, Varane won't be here, Martial won't be here, and Anthony, he might well be here because he's one of Ten Hag's favourite players. But there'll be such a big pressure from the media and random Twitter idiots trying to get him out of the club. Nana is probably single-handedly the reason as to why we lost that game today. Other than that, there was a good 10-20 minute spell in the first half where we got our two goals and we actually played quite well. I like the dynamic of the midfield. I like the way we were actually playing in the midfield. We saw Amrabat coming in and dropping in between the two centre halves to collect the ball, and it helped because of the way that Galatasaray were pressing us. It helped having numbers behind the ball, and we see Bruno and McTominay playing a bit higher up the pitch and making in these sort of drop movements when they're being pressed by Galatasaray to break the lines and pick up the ball and move it sideways. That's how Bruno got his goal. It was a little flick from uh, Luke Shaw, and he was in the position where he could just roll and turn into good space, and an incredible finish from Bruno. I want to give a lot of credit to Anthony today. I think he was probably one of our best players, if not our best player on the pitch today. What I thought we'd be missing in our team over the recent games was a winger who could really run at the defence and cause problems. I think Rashford has lacked the confidence to do that recently. Garnacho can do that, but he's still a young person, and there are times when he he's not predictable, but he's a player who likes to link up as well. He's a player who likes to use his fullback and likes to use decoy runs from other players to get into space. But Anthony today, on his own, was just turning and playing the ball through people's legs, running at defenders. They could not deal with him today. He was really one of our biggest threats today, and I think that a lot of people sweep his performance under the carpet. His performance will probably go unnoticed and go under the radar. So I have to give him a lot of credit. He's one of my favourite players, and he's receiving a lot more stick than he should. I want to see Anthony playing a lot more games, and I want to see him playing against Newcastle and whatever, whatnot, and I want to see him keep up this kind of performance where he can just keep running at players. And it's very hard when he's playing on the way he played today. It was very hard for them to tackle him. Very hard for them to predict what he was going to do because he looked unpredictable for once. He looked like he was hard to tackle. It's just a shame that after all that hard work and us going 3-1 up, all it takes was some terrible goalkeeping for Galatasaray to come back and just eat us up and pretty much kill off our Champions League dreams. I think The Onana decision was, everyone knows at this point it was the wrong decision to make. Can't believe that there were so many people out there who are in their heart really did believe that letting go of De Gea was the right thing to do. I think that even the other modern goalkeeping attributes that he brings are not even as good. His distribution today was shocking at times. Yeah, he had that one little pirouette on the halfway line. He makes easy saves look harder than they should do. I don't have trust in him when he's collecting the ball. His technique when he picks up the ball and then the ball comes to him looks shaky. He's a confident goalkeeper, and I like the fact that he likes to come out and he's not really afraid of commanding the box verbally and physically. But his technical ability in terms of being a goalkeeper is shockingly bad, and his positioning sucks. And I'm afraid that any other modern goalkeeper we could have brought in, Raya, Costa, whatever, they would all have similar problems because it's Man United. You can be a fantastic Sunday League goalkeeper. It doesn't mean you can play in the Premier League because the pressure, especially at playing for Man United, is unreal. It's on another level. And David De Gea could have managed that pressure for 12 years or something. And you just want to let him go like that when he's still technically at the peak of his powers, coming off the most clean sheets in the league. Shocking decision. I'm going to go straight into the player ratings. Andre Onana has to be a 3. I do not understand how people wanted this guy over David De Gea. We need to just bring De Gea back somehow because this guy cost us this game almost single-handedly. Wan-Bissaka 6.5. Zaha's a tricky player. He did well. Maguire 6.5. Defended well and also got a goal line clearance. Lindelof 6. Defended okay. A bit of a tough game, but I didn't really make any big mistakes. Shaw 6 as well. Did a good job. Nice to have him back. Fernandez at 7, brilliant goal, brilliant assist, good leadership as well. Anthony 7, underrated performance, so many good dribbles and runs, made it very difficult for his defender to mark him. Garnacho 6.5, got his goal, took it well. Hoyland a 6, decent game. Me Martial was probably a 5.5. Didn't have the best game when he came on. I always say that I want to see him playing with Hoyland, but maybe because of Hoyland's injury, he had to come on instead of him. Mainly probably a 6. I think he did okay when he came on. Don't really think he really could have done too much on the goal. But I think we did lose something when we took off Amrabat. We probably needed to keep that experience in there because it's a hostile crowd, a new environment. It's going to be tough for a young kid to come in. Dallo probably a 5.5. I mean, when we saw Dallo versus Zaha, it's a big difference between Dallo and Wan-Bissaka. That's why I gave Wan-Bissaka a 6.5. He did very well to keep Zaha quiet. And Palisha, I'll probably give him a 5.5. He could have done a bit better as well. Overall, I think that game was again another Onana disaster, disaster class. You have one player in Hoyland who's on fire in the Champions League, and the other in Onana who's doing terribly in the Champions League. I think once again our mentality and lack of some leadership in the team and character and confidence cost us today. I think we don't really have experienced talent players who've been there and done it and been in these situations before. We're hearing rumours of rifts with Ten Hag and Varane. Why Varane didn't play that game, I don't know. Casemiro could be out of the team and out of the club this January as well. That will also be a huge mistake. We've got a bunch of inexperienced lads who don't know how to use their heads and stay calm and stay experienced. And even the older players in this team, they still haven't accomplished anything. They still don't really know how to navigate these situations that well. And it really puts an emphasis as to why we let go of Ronaldo, De Gea, Varane, Casemiro potentially. In the Champions League, I think it pretty much is over this season. We have to beat Bayern. I'm not saying that's not possible. So I'm not saying that is impossible, yeah. but it's very unlikely because we have to also hope that Copenhagen and Galatasaray draw that game. So it's going to be very, very tough for us.